Right, get set, go. So, la communication, ça va, et la nationalité. So this is kind of a wrap-up of the first lesson that we've been talking about. So, you've got, we're going to talk a little bit about La Martinique, just some culture. We're going to learn how to ask and answer the question ça va, how to say where you're from, talk about gender of nouns, monsieur, madame, and mademoiselle, and some helpful expressions. So, we're going to move through this relatively quickly, and then I'll answer your questions when she's done recording for 7th period. So, La Martinique, this is a French department, so it is part of France. Okay, they have the French flag, they vote in French elections, they use the euro, but it is located in the Caribbean Sea, or Caribbean Sea, sorry. So, it is off the coast of Florida. If you look, you've got a little map there. So here you've got Florida, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and then down here you've got what's called the French West Indies. So you've got St. Kitts, if you've ever been on a cruise. Right down here you've got Martinique. So it is part of France. So these are just some pictures. There's a video here that we'll watch when we're done with this video. So if you're in 7th period, you want to make sure you watch that video on your own, a little bit about Martinique. Okay, review. What does bonjour mean?
Hello.
Hello. What does bonsoir mean?
Good evening.
Good evening. What does salut mean?
Hello.
I spelled that wrong. S-A-L-U-T. I'll fix it. Au revoir means goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And if I ask you the question, comment t'appelles-tu? What does that mean?
What is your name?
What is your name? So you respond with je m'appelle. So that's the conversation that you've learned so far. So remember that day I came around and I asked you, I said, hello, what is your name? And you told me what your name was?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, so that's a little review for you. The next newest thing you're going to learn is the question, how are you? So how do you ask somebody how they are in French?
Ça va.
You say, ça va. It's got that little squiggly on the C, so it makes an S sound. Ça va. That's it. Ça va? The formal way to do it is comment allez-vous. We're not going to worry too much about that one. We're going to focus on ça va. But know that that is there. So you've got formal and informal. So if I say ça va, that means how are you? So your answers. I don't know what happened to my spacing here. Some of my words are gone. That's awesome. Okay, so you've got très bien. I'll write it in here.
I say that all the time.
Très bien. Okay, bien, comme ci, comme ça, mal, très mal, and ça va. So très bien means very good. Bien means good. Comme ci, comme ça is like, meh, I'm okay. Mal is bad, and très mal is terrible. Okay? One thing that they say most often is they say ça va. So that's like, I'm going, it's good. So most French people, you will hear them say ça va? Oui, ça va. So most of the time, if you ask somebody, hey, how are you doing? They'll just say, I'm good. Okay? So, ça va. So you can answer the question with the question. Is that weird? So they say, ça va? Oui, ça va. Like, I'm good. Okay. Next question. Are you from? So where are you from? Informal, tu es de, ... and you're going to put a place in there. Formal is vous êtes de, ... You're going to put a place in there. So if I say tu es de Fairmount, what would that be?
I'm from Fairmount.
Are you from Fairmount? Tu es de Summitville?
Oui.
Are you from Summitville? So you can put a place in there. So how do you answer? Je suis de. So an example, tu es de Fairmount? Are you from Fairmount? Oui, je suis de Fairmount. Okay, you don't know how to do a negative sentence yet. So we're not worried about saying no. So we're going to be from everywhere you get asked about. So if I say tu es de Summitville, oui, je suis de Summitville.
Je suis de.
Yes, je suis de. Je suis de.
Like just sweet and de.
Kind of sounds like that. Je suis de. Okay, nationalité. So a nationality. Tu es ... So this is how I would ask somebody. Tu es américain? Are you American? Tu es français? Are you French? Okay. Tu es états-unien? That's what the French people like to call us. It's a cultural thing. They call us états-uniens, which means United Statesians instead of Americans. So I've had a lot of French people actually ask me the question. They're like, Why do Americans think that they get to be American? Because everybody that's from the American continent should be called Americans. You guys are United Statesians. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And they're like, no, it does. And we're like, okay, whatever. Let French people be French people. They're very politically correct about a lot of things, so they want to make sure everybody's equal. So, are you American? But we call ourselves Americans. So, tu es américain? So, you would answer with je suis. Now, here's the key difference between French and English. In English, American is American. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. In French, just like in Spanish, if you've taken Spanish, you have certain words for boys and certain words for girls. So if you look on the feminine form, it usually has an E on the end. Notice that Canadienne, you have an extra N and then an E. So you have to make sure that you're using the right one. And there's slight differences in pronunciation. So to say I am French, a boy would say je suis français. To say I am French, a girl would say je suis française. Do you hear the difference? Français, française. Then you've got anglais, anglaise. Américain, américaine. Canadien, canadienne. So you've got a little bit of difference between pronunciation for boys and for girls. So you want to make sure that you're using the right one. So if you're a girl, you have to use the girl form. If you're a boy, you have to use the boy form. So a boy would be je suis américain. A girl would be je suis américaine. Okay. All right, so this brings up this point. In French, everything has a gender. Every single thing is either boy or girl. A pen is a boy. A chair is a girl. A desk is a boy. A pencil is a boy. A car is a girl. A boat is a boy. How in the world did they decide that? Did they just start making up like, oh, this one's a boy, I think this one's a girl? Comes from the Latin. So back in the day when they used to speak Latin before they had French, they had genders, and so that's why we still have it in French. In English, we don't have genders of nouns. Okay? A car is a car. We don't know if it's masculine or feminine. But in French and Spanish and Italian and Portuguese and all of the other Romance languages, everything has a gender. So there's a little video here that we'll go back and watch. In some period we'll want to go back and watch it. That kind of explains the history behind that. But what you need to know is that everything has a gender. So you're going to have a masculine and a feminine form of everything. That's why you have two different forms of nationalities. Okay, so second to last little thing here. Formal salutation. So what do you say to people? So how do you say Mr. in French? You say Monsieur. How do you say Mrs. in French? You say Madame. How do you say Miss in French? Mademoiselle. And what's in parentheses are the abbreviations. So instead of putting MR period, French people just put an M and a period. Instead of putting MRS period, they put MME, no period. Don't ask me why. Okay, in Mademoiselle, they put MLLE, no period. Recently, they did away with the word Mademoiselle. That means young lady. They did away with the word. They decided that it shouldn't exist anymore because it's not fair that boys have one and girls have two. We should all have one. They're crazy, okay? So, a lot of French people still use Mademoiselle, but they've officially deleted it from the French language. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago. So they have this, it's called the Académie Française. I think I've mentioned it before. The old guys that sit around and just argue about the French language and make up words. They decided that it shouldn't exist, so they deleted it from the language. But people still use it. So you need to know what it is. Monsieur, Madame, and Mademoiselle. So you're going to see those. So most of the time I still get away with Mademoiselle, like when they're talking to me at the restaurant or whatever, they'll say, Bonjour, Mademoiselle, like hello, miss, they'll say that. So, Mademoiselle, Madame, Monsieur. All right, couple helpful expressions for you. Oui means, you should know this.
Yes.
Yes. No means
No.
no. A is ooh.
A.
And. Okay? So this is and. Ooh, O-U is or. O-C is also. These are new for you. Et toi is and you. Et vous is and you. Okay, the difference here is informal and formal. That's how French people say, like, darn it. Okay, zut. So instead of saying, oh crap, like we do, they say zut. So it's kind of fun to say. Zut. And merci means thank you. That's how you say thank you in French. So those are just some helpful things that you can use to do what you're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys an assignment to work on this stuff. And I gave some examples, so it should be pretty explanatory. But if you have questions, let me know. And then I'm also going to stop this and go back and show you guys those videos. So 7th period, I want to make sure that you go back and watch the videos on your own. It's on Google Classroom.
Cut.